evening, guys. Apologies, I'm having some serious technical issues here, and I'm not quite sure what the problem is. So let's have a look. Anyway, let's not worry about it. Let's just get stuck in. So, how is everybody today? Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to the last one of the year. It's not. I've got no Santa hat today, because I've got to bring one with me. So apologies. And I have literally nothing festive here, so I can't even be festive. I'm sure you guys will forgive me this year not having some silly hat that I was made to wear last year. I hope you all have been keeping well, and I hope you've been managing things for yourselves in the difficulty and the challenges that we all have. And today we've got a couple of questions that we'll be addressing that are specific to the Christmas period, and especially this year, given the way things have been for people. And I think what I would hope for you guys is that if you are struggling, that you can dip in and out of the stuff that we put up each week and with the website, where you can find some solace and some, I suppose, some ideas on how to manage things a bit differently. And it's what we've been trying to do with the Parenting in My Pocket podcast, where myself and Mary discuss kind of psychological theory and make it applicable. The reason we do that so that you guys can apply it to your own lives to make things that bit easier for yourselves at home. And it's really important that you can have that opportunity to explore different ways of doing things to take that stress off yourself. But what I will say is, if you are finding that you are stressed at the moment, that's okay too. That's just a normal way of being. It is part of life. Christmas, like, we all look forward to Christmas and we all work really hard for Christmas, but Christmas is a really stressful time for people. We get put into situations where we are seeing family and friends, and it's fantastic, but it can be very overwhelming. And by day 3 or by day 4, you're kind of like, I need some fresh air, I need to get a break, I need to get out. And with COVID restrictions, that can be difficult. So what I'd say to you is give yourselves a break. And we'll be coming to those questions as usual. What I do want to say is thank you for those of you who have signed up to the Patreon page, patreon.com/Alan podcast. Some people are giving €1 a month. That's fantastic. I really appreciate it. We've got a whole new raft of things coming for you patrons in the new year. We've got extra podcasts. We're going to have giveaways every month. We're going to have a live Q&A every month just for patrons. And we're going to have some merchandise at some point as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Be a lot more interactive, and we're going to be bouncing things back. So if you would buy me a cup of coffee once a month, which I wouldn't mind either, I like a good cup of coffee. But if you were able to buy me a cup of coffee, or in a position to buy me a cup of coffee once a month, you can do it by throwing that onto the Patreon page. And actually, €1 a month is a lot less than a cup of coffee. So I'd really appreciate it. We've got a lot of things planned, some new podcasts, some really interesting podcasts coming in the new year as well, that you guys and I probably didn't expect to be coming along. So that's going to be fantastic. Obviously, our book is out, and our Teachable School, which you all know about, it's on there. Next year we're going to be adding new courses to that as well, not just for parents. We're going to be putting up some mini courses and maybe some long form courses for general public. So for those of you looking to maybe explore different ways that you could change your career, build up your motivation, manage your mental health, we're going to put all those up onto the Teachable School as well, and they're going to be at a reasonable price as well. So hello to everybody who's saying hello to me. I hope you're all keeping well. It's great to see you here. I am delighted. So let's crack into our questions for today. Question 1. My 2 boys are absolutely driving me nuts. I've pulled out every threat about Santa bringing cold, cancelling Christmas, and it just doesn't seem to be working. They're constantly just doing little things to frustrate me and my husband. The boys are 7 and 9, and we've got so much to organise before Christmas, as my elderly parents are coming over for Christmas Day. I am stressed to the gills. How can I just get them to understand that I need them to be a bit more aware of how much needs to get done, and that I need them just to behave? And going back to what I said at the introduction, it's okay to give yourself a break. It is an extremely Christmas, coming up to Christmas anyway, is a very not stressful, tiring. Everybody's tired. We've all been working hard. We've all been, you know, keeping ourselves going since Halloween, and it's a drag. The kids are getting tired. Parents are getting tired. Grandparents are getting tired. Everybody is just looking forward to a break. But in preparation for that break, there is so much to get done from a parent's perspective. We got to get ready for Christmas presents. We got to get ready for, relatives coming over, that kind of thing. So I'm not surprised that you are stressed to the gills. And then on top of everything, we've got COVID. And depending where you're watching from, your restrictions may be coming into force now. You may be coming out of it now, but you're kind of going, will we be back in January? People are worried about their jobs coming up next year. And then people are excited because a vaccine seems to be coming along, and will the vaccine work? But will there be a mutation and that kind of thing? And it's all very, very stressful. So the first thing I'd say is take a breath. Absolutely take a breath. And that may be you going to hide in the bathroom to pretend to go to the toilet in order to take a breath. But just take a breath and give yourself a second to settle within yourself that, okay, this year has been crazy. And that doesn't take away the fact that I have stuff that I need to get done. But what it can do is allow you to feel more, not more content, but more in control of yourself. And that's all you can do, because there's so many variables outside of our control. All we can do is look to control what's within our control, and then try and influence the things that maybe are outside of our control. So take a breath. Write down all the things that are stressing you out on a piece of paper. And I don't mean think about them. I mean write them out on a piece of paper. Don't type them into a phone. Right? Get an old school pen, piece of paper, and write them all down. It's important to get them out of your head. And if they're in the phone, they will get lost in the phone and forgotten about. If you write them down, you're more likely to be able to figure things out for yourself. So write down everything. Then look at, is this within my control? Okay. If it's not within your control, can you influence it? Can you do something to influence it? If it's in your control, well then that's great. You can actually do something about it. And it's about looking at what are the steps I need to do to get this under my control or get this sorted. Who can I look to in my support network to help me with this, to get this done? Is there somebody that I trust to actually say, look, can you take over the organization of this, or can you take over the running of this, and see who's around? And then look at setting some time aside for yourself if you can. I'm sure with elderly parents, you're probably worried about COVID. If your kids are still in school, that's also a concern. I know a number of parents who've actually taken their children out of school this week so that they could have a 2-week break run up of quarantine heading into Christmas Day, because they have elderly relatives coming along. And that's completely and utterly understandable. I get it. If it makes sense for you, that's what's important. So look at what you can do to make the stress that little bit less. Can you break things down? Now, there will be things like postage this year is bananas, absolutely bananas. I feel so sorry for all postal workers all over the world, because they're completely underfunded, and that's been exposed now by the fact that there is so many people ordering things online because they've been in lockdown or going into lockdown. There are stresses, but if the stresses are outside of your control, it's okay to let those go. Now, that's easier said than done, I know, but that's where we look at what is it that's triggering me. Okay, I'm not going to get this present for this person, which makes me feel bad about myself, which means I put myself under stress and worry about it and start searching all over the internet to try and find something, but it may or may not come. Well, what are the alternatives you can do? It's okay. Maybe they won't get what they want right now, and that's just life. You can't conjure up something that isn't there. So maybe try and get them the next best thing that you can, and look at, well, then maybe later on in the year we will be. So look, the new consoles that are out now are like gold dust, and there are parents sweating over it. Maybe this is something where Santa can send a letter to say there is one coming next year during the year. It's just the elves were really, 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 really under stress because of COVID and couldn't actually manage it. Your children will survive. Like we as parents worry about our children being upset and disappointed on Christmas morning. That's life. That's just a disappointment of life, and they need to learn to deal with that, and they will deal with it. And in 10 years' time, you will be laughing and joking about it around the Christmas table, going, "Geez, do you remember when I didn't get such and such?" Or maybe they won't. Maybe what they get instead will be so much better. Maybe it'll just be life. You're not going to ruin their life by them not getting exactly what they want if that is causing you stress. And I know it's easier said than done, but just look at what you can do. In terms of the children, right, and that's what you've sent in. How do I get the children to understand? Well, that definitely needs a bit of time for you to think outside of taking care of dinner, lunches, school uniforms, homework, everything else that has to be taken care of. Sit them down and let them know in the here and now that this is what's going to happen. This is going to be the consequence if you don't come along with me and do what I need you to do. And make the consequence something that you can actually implement. Because for some kids, the Santa's watching consequence is enough. But as you said, it's not working because maybe for your kids it's too far out. It means nothing, and it's probably not the reality. I think that's the big thing. That in the back of their minds, your kids probably know, no matter what they do, Santa's coming. Like he is going to come. So it's an idle threat. So look at something in the moment that they can understand and that will have an impact. So it could be console's gone for the evening. It could be the phone's gone for the evening. It could be console's gone for 2 days. But make it something that's not extra stressful on you and that you can actually manage. And that could be the challenge. And again, you might be sitting there going, I can't even think about all this stuff. I have so much going on. Well, then maybe that's where you look to hand over some of the other stuff so that you can get a handle on the kids stressing you, because that's what's actually happening. The kids are stressing you due to what they're doing. So it's okay to try it and see how you get on. And you may need different consequences for each child. That's just the way it is. And maybe you look to a partner or whoever to get involved in actually, you're going to be the one that's implementing it, but I need you to do it and stick to it. And then you're both on the same page. So look at the consequence, make sure it's immediate. It has an impact in the here and now, because it's clear that your kids are not responding to the longer term and they know it's probably an idle threat. So do that, and then what you can do is you can actually sit down with them and give them jobs to do that can be helpful. So can they wrap some presents? Can they decorate the Christmas tree? Can they paint some decorations for their grandparents coming over for Christmas Day? Or, there's a great thing we actually did in our own little family where you can get cracker kits and the kids make up their own crackers. Brilliant fun, really simple. They can put whatever they want into it and let them do that. Give them little jobs. Now I know that's not going to take care of everything, but at least it's distracting. Let them paint pictures for Granny and Grandad. Let them make cards for their relatives that they can post on their friends and that kind of thing that they can bring into school. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be a be all and end all, but if you just can take, say, 10 minutes every day to sit down and go, okay, what are the lads doing when they get home from school? What am I doing? What do I need to do? What can I get them to do? And who can I get to help me? And then give it a go, but make sure you have the consequences in place that you know will have an impact, and see how it gets on. But take the time, and actually, most important of all, get yourself a break. As difficult and as challenging as it can be, Even if you to tell people, I need to go to the shop to get some new milk for the house or to get some bread for the house, go. Find a little coffee shop close to a shop where you can get the milk or the bread and sit down and just have whatever, caramel spiced latte or something like that, and just take that 5 minutes for yourself. Trust me, it will make a huge difference to you. Trust me. Okay, that's that one. Hi guys. Whoa, lots of people putting, what's a cracker? What? Like a cracker that you pull? Please tell me you guys in America have crackers. If you don't have crackers, oh my god, you're seriously missing out. Oh guys, thank you to everybody for commenting. All right, second and last question for today. My father passed away this year due to COVID-19. I'm still really struggling to come to terms with it, as he was a very popular man in our village and there was just me, my brother and my mum at his funeral. I have 3 daughters and I want them to have as good a Christmas as possible, as they love their granddad so much. I'm worried about my ability to manage my emotions on the day, and I don't want to bring everyone down. What can I do to just suck it up and get on with it without ruining Christmas for everyone? And the first thing I will say is, you absolutely are not going to ruin Christmas for everyone if you get upset. You are 100% totally entitled to find Christmas Day emotional and upsetting and maybe a bit of a challenge to get through. That is absolutely okay. So take the pressure off yourself. Don't put the weight of everybody else's Christmas on your shoulders based on your emotions. We're not robots. We can't just switch on and off our emotions. We can't just turn around and go, okay, everyone, I'm going to feel good now. Flick, there we go. I'm feeling fine. That's not how things work. So it's absolutely okay for you to just go, look guys, I'm feeling a bit up and down about the fact that Grandad isn't here at the moment. It's okay for you guys if you find it a bit upsetting that he's not around. I know I might find it a bit upsetting during the day. Now you might say, oh, my kids are young, because he didn't specify the ages, but if your kids are really young, you can let them know that it's okay for them to be upset, right? But if you don't want to talk to them about you being upset, it's all right for you to take yourself off. Say it to your partner. Say it to whoever else you're having dinner with. Look, I may need to go and have a little cry, and that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. And allow yourself the opportunity to have that grief, because it's real. And funerals during COVID and deaths during COVID have been so sad for everybody involved. So all those people that would have gone to your dad's funeral, they'll be disappointed that they didn't get to go, but you're the ones who've had to stand there and say your farewells to your dad. And I can imagine that it must be extremely frustrating at times to see people flouting rules and stuff like that when you've been directly impacted by what COVID has done. But you don't need to make sure everybody else is okay. Your kids are going to enjoy Christmas. They may find it emotional. That's okay too. Okay, and then it's all right for you to be emotional and take yourself off and have those moments for yourself where you have a little cry, and then you can come back and let people know. Because sometimes we can try and kind of go, no, everything's fine, I'm okay, don't talk to me. Just, if you take that pressure off yourself, you can allow yourself to go, I'm just having a sad moment right now. I'm having a lovely day with all of you guys. I'm just missing my dad right now. And that is absolutely fine. Okay? If you're still struggling after Christmas and you find you're not coping, do find someone to speak to. It can be nerve-wracking talking about this stuff. You can question yourself and you can say, oh, I should be able to manage this on my own. Take that should, fire it to the moon, and forget about it, and go and speak to somebody, because what happens is you feel less guilty. about talking about it with a professional, because they're not getting triggered either, and you're not feeling guilty because they're getting triggered. It helps a lot, trust me. It really, really does. And give yourself a break. It has been a year like no other, and especially for you guys. So take the pressure off yourself. You don't have the responsibility of making sure everybody's a good Christmas. Your kids are probably going to have a good Christmas anyway. You might even have a good Christmas too. But there might be moments of sadness in there, and that's all right for anybody. It's absolutely okay. If you all sit around and have a big cry together, that's okay too. You can still carry on and enjoy life. It's the children's Christmas is not going to be ruined. Okay, it's not going to be ruined. It's going to be all right. Take care of yourself, okay? Please do contact somebody if you need to in the new year, but give yourself a break this Christmas. You're doing all you can. Guys, I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of the support every week during the year. You guys have been here religiously. If you've missed it, you've checked in. You have let us know that you've checked in. You let us know that you're enjoying it. That the questions keep flooding in. It's humbling. It really is humbling to know that so many of you out there are tuning in and finding this useful. Please do share it on your news feed or wherever. I really appreciate that. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. This is where I need my Santa hat. But I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Definitely take care of yourselves though, because you will spend so much time taking care of everybody else. Sometimes we can run the well dry on ourselves. So take care of yourselves too. Do what you need to do. Get some moments where you can relax. And if you have an annoying family member who does your head in, just limit your time with them. It's okay. You've got the best excuse ever. Have a wonderful Christmas. Take care, guys, and we will chat to you in the new year. Take care.